Is there something more that should be there? Just balance, or how else should we look at this term fairness?
So if we're looking at mechanics, right, we want to make sure that, I mean, we have to kind of break it down a little bit, right? Because I think that fairness, it should be paramount in some ways, but maybe lacks in others. So if we're looking at mechanics, we have kind of talked about this before on another podcast or on another episode, and it was you have to be fair to everybody. You have to have that same rule. If you're going to fudge something for someone, you have to fudge that for everybody.
Okay. So treating players fairly,
right,
sure.
yeah. So if we're looking at mechanics, yes. Does that equate to fun? I think it does, because in that example, you are creating the game atmosphere, the mechanical atmosphere of it, to be something that everyone agrees to and everyone enjoys. Now, if we flip the coin over to the other side, and we're talking about fairness between players, I don't know what to call this, maybe meta, like giving player A time to shine at the table, and maybe designing an adventure that's heavily towards their character. But if we don't do that to everyone else and they feel left out, does that lower the fun for the other players?
That might be a different way of looking at it. But if they just don't know that you're treating them differently, and even should you even treat everybody the same? And I don't mean mechanically of with your attack, you roll a d6, but with your attack, you roll a d8 because I like you more. I don't mean that kind of fairness, right? We definitely adhere to whatever the rules of the system are. But do you even treat everybody equally, as in spotlight time? Spotlight time even on a grander adventure, or have more connections with NPCs? Or is that something from the player side? So in this instance, fairness isn't involved.